He said the contract to be, to be allocated to gun works for proper monitoring and awarding of contract. Well, those will be part of our proposals, but again, we don't know what is the policies between government and gun works and how do they transfer responsibilities from a ministry to gun works, which we will also follow up and to know what are the how to call the nomenclatures or what are the programs or policies which they use in order to transfer contracts to GANWORKS, whether GANWORKS can represent any of the ministries. With that, if it is fine, I think we will do the needful to advise them to do that because they are the specialists when it comes to contract awarding and monitoring. Thank you so much for raising that concern and also guiding. The river transport from Banjul to Basse. Well, anyway, we love to see that because it used to happen. That is the Lady Chile, the Lady Right, and so on. But it's no longer happening. But they are saying it used to happen also from Banjul to Albreda or Jufre, which was helping them, and those who are no longer existing even right now. So if it is being reintroduced, it will be more than good because, in fact, the Minister of Works and also tourism, I think they should come on board so that they can have that MOU to see how best it will be revitalized so that it will also help. It will also reduce maybe the road accidents and other things on the road. It can even use for cargo. They can even use it for cargo. For the land ownership, for Birkama, which I've already mentioned, we will work on it. The Kunta Kinte, for government to take it seriously and to at least try to rehabilitate the place so that at least it can serve its purpose. And that was also part of our recommendation because when we went to Kunta Kinte Island, we were even surprised some of the artifice or some of the walls were already been eroded away, and you cannot even, some of them they can't even tell you the areas which are left there. They cannot even explain it properly because they find out some of the houses halfway is already gone. So for them also, they are even feared nowadays. In fact, some of them is not, they said it's not attracting the tourists so much because most of the natural ones are already eroded. So if the tourism or the tourist sector should try to come to their aid, at least rehabilitate that place, maybe, and even not even rehabilitating, but also to provide some facilities there. Let's say a bar or restaurant or whatever, so that at least some of them can be there to serve some of the tourists food or drinks. The GSI youths who are certificated, you said who are certificated, what are they doing? Whether they should be re-engaged and also try to give them some capital to make a startup. I think that is very important because we even asked that question when we went there, that when they train and you left them, what are you going to do? So in fact, some of them said that is our question right now. In fact, they are trying to see whether they can, through their proceed, if they are able to make some savings, they will see what they can do for the students or the youths who have passed through there and been certificated to engage themselves. In fact, some of them are taken to Basse because you have one youth farm which is at Kundam. Some of them have been taken there at least to train those ones also because they want it to be replicated in some of the regions. Latikunda Sabiji. He said the contract awarding, the procurement and the processes. For those contracts, they were awarded before our coming into office. But we are also following because we asked the minister, we want to see some of the documents so that we can at least monitor the projects which is ongoing and we know what is involved and what is the risk attached to it. So he promised that they will do so, the needful to supply us with some of the information regarding to those contracts. He also said the ministry to go to court. That was their first initial stand, that is to take the contractors to court. But when they consulted the Minister of Justice, they advised them based on what is better for the ministry or what is the interest of the ministry. And when they did that, the ministry go by the advice, and I think it have paid dividend because the project is ongoing now. Sabah Sanjay said about Rasulin. For him, he said he's interested more in wrestling. Well, for wrestling, what we can do is to engage the National Sport Council through the desk officer for wrestling, where we can engage him and see how best we can engage him to develop wrestling throughout the country, not only Sabasanjal, because I know wrestling is one of the traditional cultures we are left with. Because this football is European game, we are left with wrestling. As you can see, even during my celebration, I organized wrestling because that is our culture. So, in fact, that is my responsibility to engage the sport council through the desk officer to see how best we can develop or revive wrestling in the country. Because I was part of the members at KMC to see whether wrestling can come back. I went to KMC to pursue so that they can have a arena. I pursue until we were able to get a land at the Buba zone, and it is even fenced. But they want everything silver spoon on the table. We asked them, we have worked for you to get a land. Now you also have to work with your sister international organizations to support you in order to develop it. So they are working on it. The land is there at the Buba zone. It has been fenced and it's still there for wrestling. Fonyi Councillor. Fonyi Councillor, yes, you said we jumped you.
Yes, I jumped.
Unfortunately, maybe on the map. But we are now moving into the second phase.
Say it again.
No, let's. So it's for the second phase. So we are using it for the second phase because, as I said, what we prepared before and after when the request was sent to Clark, we are only given 9 days and we cannot exhaust all what we wanted to do. So we try to divide some of them. At least every region, we can visit at least 2 sporting facilities, maybe 2 tourism facilities, whether eco lodge or cultural. At least every region we cover it. But we will come in for the second phase, whereby we will adjust some of them. So we are coming. Just wait for us. For the GSI sustainable growth, yes, it's good for you to mention that. And it's also part of our agenda to make sure GSI is sustained and is also upgraded. Because we want it to be replicated in all the regions. That's why the committee stood by the ministry to at least to lobby for more funds in their budget so that they can be allocated. Only GSI will allocate 3.5 million to buy equipment and support themselves. So thank you so much. For the NYC for the youth groups, of course, we will also engage NYC. It's good for you to propose, but that was part of our agendas in order to see youth groups to be engaged. In that, we even also went as far to create more funds for the youth committees so that they can do their responsibilities, their TORs, and also do capacity building. Because some of them, if they are not capacitized, they cannot know what is the act of their act, and they don't know what is their policies. So they must be capacitized and also to know their policies and their acts in order to operate. So that is part of our program. And also we are communicating with the minister so that at least all the youth committees or sport committees have an office and let them be subvented every year. You said the fence of the stadium. Okay. So the fence of the stadium, as looking at the scale of preference or demanding the demands of the stadium, I think that was not a major issue right now at the stadium, because what we are working on is looking at the major areas whereby we can beat the GFF, or how to call it, the FIFA, at least so that they can lift the suspension. So the areas which they highlighted as sport areas, which should be addressed so that they can give us a green light to organize matches or to handle our matches, to play our matches home. Those are the areas they concentrate in first, then later they come on the fence. That is the outside perimeter fence. So it will be handled. And I think it was almost been completed, but because of last year, the rain, it went, some of them collapsed. So I think they will come back to that. You also said contractors, institutions to be held responsible in failing their mandate. Yes, that is in fact one of our primary objectives that is to make sure we serve what we are supposed to do, that is to protect and the funds of this country so that it will be utilized judiciously. So we will also make sure the ministry, we will hold them responsible wherever it is needful. Sanimentary. Say the alcalos of Albreda and Jufre for their salary payment. Well, anyway, for this payment, it's not. I think it's an MOU within their community, which we have no hand in it. You understand? Because it is their cultural area, and they believe some of those alcalos can be compensated based on their own MOU, which we cannot do. What is important here? Who is receiving this fund, and who is managing this fund, and where the fund will be. But if they agree on consensus with the tourism that they should compensate the alcalos, whatever is based on them, and also the Kunta Kinte family who are also benefiting from these funds, which we also have a limit, we think. But what is important is to make sure to hold the ministry responsible or the institution responsible, the NCAC, to make sure the funds are well managed and it's kept in a safe place. The Sukura Ministerium. Well, anyway, it's the name, it's how it is branded. Whether it is something is there or not, we call it Sukura Ministerium or Dembadu Ministerium. You call it Dembadu. You want Dembadu? For Dembadu, it's under the GFF. They were the one who spent money there to upgrade those facilities. That is Sukuta, Serakunda, East Serakunda, West Gunjur, and others. But we also, as I said, we will consult Sport Council to make sure they get to GFF and to ask them how far about these sporting facilities, because there were funds being given to GFF to upgrade these facilities. So, and it's part of their MOU. We also go and look at, because they have MOU with all these sporting facilities in order to develop their facilities and have a percentage like Serakunda East and Serakunda West, so that they can organize their divisional margins there, and the gate takings there, the percentage which both of them will benefit. So we'll use Sport Council to know what were the arrangement which they make with GFF. And if there is any fund which was allocated to Gambia to GFF to develop sporting facilities, and Sukura is part of it, we'll make sure Sukura get their money so that they can develop their premises. Thank you. Talinding Kunja. And also you said the music, sorry, before telling you said the cultural musician, especially our to develop them and at least empower them. Well, that one we need to engage the how to call it, the NCAC, and I think the minister was here saying that they want to bring back the national troupe. So that is part of maybe a project which they want to revive or even support the musicians, because the national troupe project is part of supporting the musicians and also promoting the music. But we will also ask them what are the policy guidelines which they put in place, and how are they going to fund it. So we'll go further to know what are the technicalities in it. So I think it is important for us to look at our musicians, because we are losing most of them. And when we asked for history, they said music started in the Gambia, and some of the musicians started to Gambia to Senegal, and now we are far behind them. So it's important for you to raise it, and we also take it up from the ministry. Talidin Kunjan. We are talking about the hubs, and you have mentioned so many institutions where you have the tour guide association, the craft market association, you have the hotel association, and also the bird watchers. Those are the areas we put aside for the second phase. But for sure, we'll get back to them, because we even invited on a meeting. We have discussion with them. They have put on so many points for us, and some of their concerns and the issues they have with GT board and others, and we are following up. So make sure at least it has been addressed. For GT board, we are represented because the ministry was represented. When we were going, they gave us the name Aya Awanyas, who was representing the ministry and GT board. So they were represented. For the other institutions or the associations, which we'll get back to them in the second phase. And thank you for giving us that reminder. For Mango Park, 4 million was spent on the project. The 4 million project was for the fencing and the security room, so that at least, because they said the monument which is there is fading, and even the plaque which was there, somebody came and took it. So there was no security. It was left like a wild like elephant in the bush. So I think the tourism, the tourist industry or the tourism ministry decided to fence the entire premises and put up a security room there. For the road, I don't know whether it will be the first or their second phase. I cannot tell. But we will also engage them, because we find it very difficult even to reach to that place. Today, if any of our members, if you tell them Mango Park, they will even say, where? We are not going. Even the driver, you know what even to mention about Mango Park. Because we trek almost about 5 or 6 kilometers to reach to that place. So really, at least road access is very important. Maybe we will also consult them. What about the road access? Are you planning for it, or are you going to develop it? Because if you don't develop the road access, it's of no use. It means the 4 million it will be a waste, because nobody will trek to go to that place for 4 or 5 kilometers. So we will engage them on that. And thank you for putting that on spot. To create funding for the GSI, which I mentioned several times. For Kerewan Skill Center. In fact, that was also our words when we went there. We told them, you just took what is in KMC or Bakau, you brought it here. So you don't know whether it is their demand. We even we told them, even, I think it's better for you to go and look at a mechanic who's a qualified mechanic. You have an MOU with him so that he can do his garage here. He will bring his apprentice. At the end of the day, you have at least have an agreement whereby you have a share, or else it's a waste. Because if you look at most of the equipments are even deteriorated there. So it's only the sewing and the other sector which are functioning. So that one is need to be rebranded to suit the demands of the community around that end. For Ilyasa, we said the two ministries to take note to address some of the problems, and we will highlight most of them which are raised here, and we will engage them for further discussion, and we try to address them one after the other. Thank you so much, Speaker. I think these are the things, the concerns and some of the concerns I raised. If there's anything I left behind, maybe you can easily bring it up so that I can answer it. Thank you.
Yeah, member for Brikama North and the minority leader.
Speaker, I have few points that I want to draw attention for correction. That's not, a few are typos, and the other one is a recommendation to be added to the conclusion. Page 4, page 5, and page 33. Page 4 is a few corrections. Page 4, under Kunta Kinte, second line, where it reads half kilometer away from, the word from is missing, away from Jufre Adreda community. That's for page 4. The word from is missing. And page 5, under challenges, the second line, proper maintenance before it is too late, instead of us. Before it is too late, that's for page 5. Page 5, on the number 1, on the challenges, second line. And then the last one for correction is page 33. Page 33, on the Brikama Mini Stadium, the first paragraph, the 5th line, where we have Mr. Demba Jaju. The name of the president is Lamin Dembajang, I believe is the surname, Dembajang, instead of Demba Jaju. Dembajang. Yeah, Mr. Dembajang. And the Demba Jaju is being repeated. In the last paragraph, the 4th line, Mr. Jaju should be Mr. Dembajang. And the same paragraph, the last paragraph, the first line, one clan of Brikama called Bulunda is not a clan. It is the Council of Elders of Brikama, instead of instead of one clan, should be Council of Elders of Brikama called Blunda. And the last one is the recommendation on the conclusion. That's some recommendation we add on the conclusion. Finally, the committee shall develop resolutions from the challenges and recommendations and ensure the implementation. So that's my proposal. The committee shall develop resolutions from the challenges and recommendations and ensure the implementation.
Thank you very much, member for Brikama North and minority leader. I'm sure the clerk and have you noted those corrections and also chair his recommendation. Minority, is that okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, honorable members. I want to thank you sincerely, but most especially those who participated in the debate, as well as those who stayed up to this time round for your invaluable contributions and time. Now I put the corrections. Be it resolved that this Honorable Assembly do adopt the report of the National Assembly Select Committee on Tourism, Arts and Culture, and Youth and Sports Countrywide Visit to Sporting Facilities and Tourist Sites 2022. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, honorable members, and of course, Chair and other officials who were here to listen to the debate. And on that note, I now put the questions. Be it resolved. Yes? Come. Thank you. She's been reminding me that the report has been amended, has been adopted with amendment. Thank you very much, Office of the Clerk. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Thursday, 9th March 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The Assembly now stand adjourned until Thursday, not Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday. Until Thursday, 9 March 2023 at 10 a.m. from the member for Combo South.